A live look in of Music City, USA. Preds on the road tonight at Toronto. Hour 2 of the show brought to you by Culligan, everybody. Clear water, clear choice. Filter out the bad and taste the good. Culligan Water of Regina. Check him out at culliganregina.com. We're going just down the road to Moose Jaw, the Band City, to chat with James Gallo, the voice of the Moose Jaw Warriors. Hey, James, how you doing, buddy? What's new in the Band City?
Well, you know what? We just got back early this morning. There's snow, right? I mean, I'm sure you don't miss that there, Rod.
Oh, not really. Not really. I actually have a vehicle there in Moose Jaw right now. I have a vehicle there. I said, can you sweep the snow off the bus, please, Joe? Fire it up a little bit. Take it around the block. Yeah, thanks.
Well, hopefully Big Bird's got the roof on it. Otherwise, it might get pretty cold in Big Bird. So.
Oh, I know, right? But it'll look cool, and that's all that matters. James, listen, you guys pulled the trigger on the biggest trade that would be made, I believe, in the WHL leading up to the trade deadline next month. Brayden Yager being dealt to Lethbridge. Hurricanes serving notice. They're going for it. An 11-piece trade, right? To be honest, from what I've seen from Warrior fans, they get it. Disappointed, but they get it. What's been the reaction to the trades? Not just Yager, but all the trades. It's very clear what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, I think that's nice that the fan base understands the process that has to go on. I mean, it was a 4-year process to build to last year's championship team, and you got to start over. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is in junior hockey nowadays, where in a post-COVID world, and if you go back even further to the 17-18 season, when you're all in, you go all in, and then you have to find ways to try and recover. Now, it's unfortunate. Jackson Unger and Brayden Yager were faces of a generation here in Moose Jaw. I mean, homegrown, developed here by the Warriors, and they won in Moose Jaw. But general manager Jason Ripplinger has his plan, and unfortunately that involved trading those two guys to the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Got some great pieces back. Brady Smith was spectacular, I thought, in the loss last night in his Warrior debut in Lethbridge. And then Landon Ward brings a lot of size and, a guy that can hold the opposition and I think his teammates accountable on the ice. Got a great defensive prospect in Colt Carter and, a couple of firsts, a second, and other draft picks. So, you always have to have your eye on the future if you're general manager, and that with this move, that's what Jason Ripplinger did.
Well, and we'll talk about the Warriors in a second. You guys have said, hey, you pushed your chips in or whatever, pulled them out. Lethbridge has pushed their chips in, I guess would be the way to say it. Are they a cut above the best or not? Like, who do you see this? Who are the big horses? The rest of the way.
Small sample size, right? Small sample size to see in just one game last night. I'm sure as Brayden Yager and Jackson Unger get more familiar in their surroundings, they'll get better and better. For me, I saw the Calgary Hitmen on Sunday. Boy, they're impressive, right? They're fast, they're physical, they play a really aggressive style, they check hard, they compete hard. They're going to be an impressive team. Acquired Tanner Howe back a couple of weeks ago from the Regina Pats. Carter Yakimchuk is just pure stud on the back end. Of course, you have to look at the Medicine Hat Tigers, led by Gavin McKenna. That's a team that's tough to put your finger on them, but they're high offense. They're really entertaining. And, the Saskatoon Blades, I think a big question mark here in the Eastern Conference, right? I mean, they're sitting first in the conference, but what do they do leading up to the trade deadline will be interesting. Out west, for me, I think Everett is probably the best team that I've seen, maybe in the Western Hockey League. Fast, really talented. Landon DuPont's the real deal on the back end. I thought Vancouver really impressive when I had a chance to see them. And then when the Prince George Cougars get Riley Height back, and what does Mark Lamb do in Prince George, because they're kind of peaking on their cycle. So there's some really good teams in the Western Hockey League. I don't think it's quite like last year where in the Eastern Conference it was Moose Jaw and Saskatoon, point blank. It was Prince George and it was Portland out west. I think there's a little bit more this year, but there's still a lot to be determined. And I think a lot of teams were waiting for that Memorial Cup announcement, as 5 teams were involved. 4 of them didn't get it. So now obviously those 4 teams may swerve. Do they want to go this year, or do they want to be the Western Hockey League representative potentially next year when the Memorial Cup's in Kelowna?
What just is your take on Kelowna being named the host of the 2026 Memorial Cup?
It's a great location, Rod. You know that as well as I do. And Bruce Hamilton and his crew are going to put on an amazing show. I don't doubt that whatsoever. I think from the hockey side of things, they've got some question marks, right? Andrew Crystal, signed prospect to the Washington Capitals, potentially gone next year. Caden Price, signed to the Seattle Kraken, potentially gone next year. And Tija Gimla, he's a high-end prospect for the Utah Hockey Club. Is he back next year as a 19-year-old? I think it's going to be interesting. But again, Bruce Hamilton's a pro, right? I mean, off the ice, I think it's going to be an amazing show. And I think on the ice, Bruce is going to do everything he can to try and win at home. And I think Bruce is going to do everything to try and get through the front door, not the back door, which is what host teams usually try and do. If I was betting, I would have bet on Spokane. That's probably who I would have bet on. But maybe there wasn't an appetite to go down south for the second time in 3 years.
I loved your stories about going to Saginaw last year where the Warriors won it all. And I know you had fun. I certainly get that. Listen, as I'm talking to the Warrior guy, can you tell me the excitement level for the Four Nations face-off rosters being announced later today? Brayden Point is already there, one of the 6 names for Team Canada from the Tampa Bay Lightning. What's the buzz where you're at on these rosters?
I think we're already there, right? I mean, Brayden Point's there. So, all reports kind of indicate that a guy like Morgan Riley won't land on the team. But with Brayden Point there, I think the people in Moose Jaw are excited to see what he can do at that level. We've watched him from afar on what he's done with Tampa Bay, winning multiple Stanley Cups. And we were fortunate enough to watch him here in Moose Jaw. He's a special player. And I think on a bigger stage like that, he's going to show even more people how special that he is. It's just kind of getting there. I think it's when you see the roster, the one thing in Canada too, it's just like the World Juniors. When you see a roster like that, I think we talk more about who's not on it as opposed to who is actually on it. So I think that will be fun. But until the rosters are announced, I don't think that's when the excitement will really pick up.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, what is on the horizon for the Warriors in the new year? Any exciting jersey retirements or anything fun that way?
Well, I think we've maxed out. There wasn't a lot of time to prepare for a jersey retirement. We only had 2 months off in the summertime to get ready.
Yeah.
We just had our Hall of Fame, inducted some amazing individuals in our Hall of Fame, the Multiplex Builders Group, who raised $10 million to put this downtown facility in the works, which was absolutely amazing. Jody Lehman, an all-time goaltender, and Dustin Boyd, who is an all-time forward for the Warriors. So that was pretty special. Now, there's always some great things in junior hockey. Teddy Bear Toss Night coming up this Friday. The team will do their annual Hockey Fights Cancer Night coming up in the new year, which is great. Fan appreciations is always fun. So it's maybe there's a jersey retirement next year. We don't know, but we'll have plenty of time to plan on it, I'm sure.
And Rob Carney night. Just give me plenty of notice so I can be there. Okay, James.
Every night is Rob Carney night here at Moose Jaw, Rod. Every night is Rob Carney night.
There's the headline. All right. Happy holidays, James. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Rod, to you and your family, and have fun here getting ready for the World Juniors.
Thank you, pal. You too. James Gallo, the voice of the Moose Jaw Warrior. We'll be back for one final segment from Music City right after this. Whatever you would like to talk about, 902-518-3033. The Alaterra Skincare text line is open, or the streaming chat as well. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV. We are streaming live and, of course, podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.